people want to play with.
Way up top there to 16.
Hi, Luke. Obviously, a lot was made of the president being here today. I know he was supporting America, but given he's such a big golf fan, just wondering, did he say anything to you or any of your guys at all when he was out there on the tee?
Yeah, I saw Mr. President and shook his hand and said hello, and he said, well, you're becoming a real great leader. So it was very nice of him to say that, and yeah, it was again nice of him to support this event, and yeah.
Here in the middle, 13.
Luke, you got 3.5 points today out of Rory and John Rahm, knowing the dynamics that are involved with trying to win a road game. What's it like to be able to lean on those two guys in particular?
Yeah, I mean, in massive. I don't think John has lost in a team, one of the team, the four balls or foursomes since Paris. He's an incredible leader for us on and off the course, mostly, with the way he plays. Leader, Rory's, probably slightly more vocal in the team room, but again, Rory's talked about what the Ryder Cup means and the disappointments we saw in Wisconsin, and how much he relishes Ryder Cups and the opportunity to try and be a part of them and hopefully be on winning teams. He's made it quite clear that as one of his big goals was to win an away Ryder Cup again. And yeah, he played fantastic golf today.
Over to Paul on 14.
Fitzy, given his track record in this event, just with the way he played and how that went, was that particularly pleasing for you to see him play that well, and just what you thought of him and Ludwig together, seeing them for the first time in this event?
Yeah, they gelled very well, and you never know when you're trying new partnerships under intense pressure, but they seemed very relaxed. Their personalities really gelled, and their games were fantastic. Fitzy especially played some scintillating golf. I mean, he looked very comfortable out there. He looked very confident, and just great to see, because there's been some media about his Ryder Cup record, and I've always kept telling him, you just never know when it's time to go and make some points. And I mentioned it even 2 years ago that Seve's first 2 Ryder Cups, I think he made 1 point, and now he's the legend of Europe. So there's always time, there's always this moment that he can contribute, and it's really good to see how well he played and how comfortable he looked out there.
Mike 12, please.
Yep. Hi, Luke. It appeared during the afternoon there was an incident where Rory made a gesture towards the crowd. Are you aware of that? Can you comment on it at all?
I'm not aware. What hole was that?
After the 11th hole.
Sorry, I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
But I was definitely proud of the guys and how they handled the situation. The tough environment out there.
Go right in front here to Cameron.
Back to John. Is he a guy that you've had conversations with about going out first? Like, is he someone who's come up to you and said, I want to go out first, I want to be in this spot?
Not necessarily. I think John is looking to always just help in any way he can to contribute to the team. But he has a good track record of going out first. So it's he likes to lead. He's, again, I feel like he's someone that he wants to do a lot of his talking with his golf clubs, and that's what he brings to our team and our team room, and people, all our teammates really respect that.
Over to Brody on 9.
Luke, I mean, we've been asking you questions for 2 years about, the challenge of playing on the road and winning. I mean, is there anything specific that you saw today that kind of showed that whatever preparations or strategy you've been doing, it kind of played out?
A lot of mental resilience. I think, you just look at some of the putts these guys hold when it mattered is pretty gratifying for a captain. Obviously this morning, to create a little bit of history with the 3 matches and how they were won was great. History is nice to accomplish, it doesn't mean anything unless we get those 14.5 points on Sunday. But I just think, even this afternoon with, it gets louder as it goes. You cross the road and there's a lot of grandstands, there's a lot of hospitality. In the afternoon, maybe guys have had a couple more beverages, and it gets loud, and the guys handled it with absolute class and poise. And I obviously talked about that. To be prepared for an away Ryder Cup, you have to deal with that, and I thought they dealt with it amazing.
Shane on 10.
Hey, Luke. Going back to Rome now, you have 5 guys on your team who are 3-0 in the foursome sessions, the 2 in Rome, and of course today. I know we don't have pairings yet, but I imagine they'll all be out tomorrow. Who gets credit for that beyond the players for forming these teams and giving you what I think of as almost a firewall with these guys who are so good in that format?
Yeah, I'd say a couple people. We do a little bit of profiling, so we look at people's general characteristics and how they match up. I think that's important with foursomes especially. But also, I got to give a lot of credit to Eduardo. I think he's so switched on, statistic-wise. Probably out of all the vice captains, he's the one I talk to the most, just because it really has a big part of our strategy and how we go about the pairings, the orders. He's very tuned into that stuff, and he's a big asset to me.
Can I ask a quick follow-up on that? You talked about the things that go well together. I know you're referring to parts of their game and statistics. What about personality? Is that a consideration when you look at a foursomes team?
I think so. It's a little bit easier to put four-ball guys together in personality, but foursomes, it's a little bit more of a team, isn't it? You have to rely on your teammate even more. I just look at the successful partnership I had with Sergio. I thought we were quite different personality-wise. He was energetic, upbeat. I was pretty stoic, pretty just in my own little lane, but it seemed to work very well. So, I think I've learned a lot from that successful partnership.
Thanks for your time, Luke. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
United States Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley joins us now. We're going to go ahead and jump right into questions, starting right over here with Adam.
Hey, Keegan. Data Golf, very respected, reputable source out there, has their info that they found that Harris English and Colin Morikawa, the 132nd best combination of all the possibilities, the last one. What do you have in your information that had them in your top 4 and you're sending them back out again tomorrow morning?
Well, we have a plan of what we're going to do, and they beat us today, but, we're really comfortable with our plan. We're really comfortable with those 2 players. Excited who they're playing tomorrow. Be exciting match, and we're sticking to our plan. We're not going to panic. We're not going to do panic and make those sort of mistakes. So we're going to stick to what we know, and we have a lot of confidence in them.
Do your data analytics suggest they work really well together, or is this more of a gut feeling?
I would say it's a little bit of both. They were really bummed out that they lost their match today, eager to get back out there on the course, and that's why we did that.
Right here in front, Cameron.
Keegan, I know Cameron sat this morning, but he came out this afternoon and seemed to be one of the bright spots for you guys today. How proud are you of him, and is that something that maybe you expect out of him to play as well as he did?
Yeah, Cam, that was really cool to see. He came back to his home state at a golf course that he's played. Was really proud to watch him go out there and play the way he did. He really played awesome. He's been playing great for a long time. We're excited to have him in the lineup tomorrow. Putted great, hit the ball great. A few fist bumps for Cam, which is a little exciting for him, but it was fun watching him out there.
And then pairing him with Bryson tomorrow, obviously 2 big hitters. What went into that decision? Because both of Bryson's teammates today obviously didn't kind of match his level in either match.
Oh, I don't know if they didn't match his level, but we just thought, this was an option for us before the week started. We really like this pairing. Their golf ball's very similar, and we feel like they're going to match up really well together.
Up to Paul.
Keegan, just when you go about assessing the overall day, 6.5, 2.5, what do you think kind of went into why that played out?
5.5, 2.5.
Sorry, 5.5, 2.5.
Well, we've played 25% of the points. We played the first quarter of a football game or a basketball game. So they went out there. They played better than us today. They made more putts. But listen, we knew this was going to be difficult. We knew this was going to be tough. We didn't expect to come in here and this not to be a difficult week. So our boys are in great spirits. I just spoke to them. They're really excited to get out there tomorrow. What a stage what an opportunity that they have to go out there tomorrow and prove to everybody, they're down. Now they got to go catch up, and I like that.
I was going to ask, what was your message to them afterwards?
Well, I think, like I said, we've played 25% of the Ryder Cup, a little bit more, but 25%, and we knew this was going to be difficult. The Europeans played great. Sometimes you go out in sports and you prepare and you do everything you can, and your opponent just beats you, and they played awesome today. It was really incredible to see, the Europeans come into a hostile environment and go out there and perform the way they did. They're great players. We knew that, and we got to go out there and match what they do tomorrow and make a few more putts.
Let's go up top to 17.
Hi, Keegan. Obviously, the atmosphere ramped up a notch before the afternoon when the president came out. Just wondering what he said to you and the guys, and if the timing was what was the timing like? Was it a bit awkward given how the morning session had not gone your way?
No, it was great. That was a really cool experience. Seeing the active president on the grounds of a Ryder Cup or at a golf event. What a cool thing. The flyover with Air Force One. I'll never forget that the rest of my life. It was really cool.
Over to 16.
Hey, Keegan. Scotty heated up a little bit late with a couple of birdies, but what did you just see from him overall today in both his matches?
Yeah, I think if you ask Scotty, he would, say he's excited to go out tomorrow and play his best golf. When you're number one player in the world, you have a day that maybe wasn't his best. Normally you bounce back. We're not worried about Scotty Scheffler. He's been in great spirits in the team room. He's eager to get back out there tomorrow.
Down to Brody on 9.
You're clearly sticking, you said you have a plan, you're going to stick to it. I'm curious, just like in those emotionally, you go down 3-1, 5.5, 2.5. How challenging is it to be like, I'm sticking to the plan and not maybe try to, deviate?
Well, I think your natural instinct is to do that, but we came in here this week with a plan, and the players are prepared for that plan, and we're gonna stick to that plan and make sure the players are ready to play, and we feel really confident about this lineup, and we love all those players.
Shane, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel my question may be redundant, but Justin Thomas did struggle this morning a little bit, played quite well this afternoon. J.J. Spawn this afternoon played a little bit better than three of the guys you have going in the morning. There was never a thought to maybe inject those guys in the morning, seeing as how the deficit is a little bit more than expected, maybe?
Yeah, I think, we want the guys to get a little rest. We have a very specific plan for each player that we've spoke to them, and I think that they all want to do what's best for the team. They all would have played if we asked them to. They all would sit if we asked them to. They just want to win the Ryder Cup, and that's what makes this group so great. We're 3 points down. It's not that's easy. We can come back from 3 points down. I think it feels a lot worse because it's just the day's over, but we got a lot more of the Ryder Cup to play.
In front here with Ryan.
You got it.
Good. Okay. Adam.
Keegan, this being captain has been a theoretical thing. What did you learn about the job today, being out there, and what did you learn about your team?
Well, I learned that Patrick Cantlay is a tough dude. I watched him out there hit a lot of great shots, make a lot of incredible putts. Proud of the way the guys fought. It's not easy when you're down in the matches in Ryder Cup and trying to fight back. And, that was a really important halve we had on the last hole. That was a really important win that X and Patrick had in the morning session. And I'm really proud of them for doing that. That kept us in this firmly. I think it's difficult to watch from the out. It's more difficult to watch than actually play because you want them to play well so bad and you don't have control over it. But it was fun watching them play. I look forward to celebrating tomorrow, making a few more putts and winning more holes.
Way up to 15.
Keegan, Bryson had talked a lot this week just about what it meant to be back in this tournament. He had kind of that drive on the first tee in the morning to fire up the crowd, some good, some bad the rest of the day. Just how do you think he sort of handled the return to this stage, and what did you see from him today?
Yeah, he played great. I mean, he hit a lot of incredible shots. The shot he hit off home was great. But, ultimately, we needed to make more putts. I think everyone on our team would say that. I think that they would say that, we got to go out tomorrow and roll those putts in. And we didn't do that today. But like any other day at a tournament, you some days you're so happy for the round to be over just so we can get a break, come back tomorrow, and have a fresh start.
Over here with Keith.
Keegan, I know the pairings are relatively the same, but do you anticipate keeping the same odds, evens, rotations tomorrow morning as well?
Yeah, I think we'll keep that to our team and what we're going to do there.
Mike 2, please.
I'm just wondering, feels like a lot of the time when the US lose sessions, it's about making more putts. How do you try and make more putts? Because surely the players are trying as hard as they can to make every putt.
Yeah, well, one of the weirdest things about golf that doesn't apply to other sports is the harder you try, the worse you play. So you actually have to try to give up control to do stuff like that. One of the things I struggle with the most is trying too hard. And when you try too hard in golf, you don't play as well. So, we go out tomorrow, we get back into our process, we have a whole different mindset, we're playing from behind. We'll go out there and all the horrible cliches that you guys hear all the time, one shot at a time, process, and they'll start going in.
And Mike 6 in the middle there, please.
I think you said yesterday, throughout this process, you're sticking to the plan, you have a plan. Are there things, though, that you see as today unfolds, as the week goes on, that force you to change the plan or to reconsider, what you've told the guys about their role and how this comes about?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things that you have to adapt to, but we ran into some really incredible play by the Europeans today. So, we look at the data, we look at the strokes gained, and, in the morning session, we just didn't make any putts, really hardly any at all. And, everything else was pretty good. We actually hit more fairways and less greens, but, you know, we that middle match with Colin and Harris, they went up against a group that shot 5, 6, 7 under, something like that, an alternate shot, which is tough to beat.
Finish up with Ryan right here on 3.
While walking around today, did you kind of get confirmation that it would have been very difficult to captain and play?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly, my role would have been a lot different on this team if I played. You know, we'll never know how that's ever going to be, but my role certainly would have looked a lot different than it does this week.
Thanks for your time, Keegan. We appreciate it.
Thank you.